I know it's hard being human. No matter where you are, who you are, no matter what your consciousness or whatever stage of awakening or human experience that you're having, it's hard. There's so many contradictions. There's so much suffering. There's so many ways we cause pain for ourselves and for others. And in my own journey, and I think for all of us, the more awake you become, the more deeply we suffer. Because we know that we're so much more. We know that so much more is possible. I've known immense states of bliss and peace and oneness with God and with all of life. Incredible heart opening, awakening experiences, like total orgasmic heart experiences, full body, enlightened consciousness, knowing myself as God, as the very source that we all are. And still I suffer. I'm still a human. I'm still here with all the struggles of how to make it in this modern world, and all the ways that I can and we experience separation from each other and from God, from source. All the ways that we create suffering within ourselves. I am here and I'm in it. But I'm also here as a messenger. I'm here to help you and anybody who feels ready, which is why I think you're here, why you're even listening to me speak, is that there's something in you pulling you forward, compelling you to know the truth, to live in the truth, be an embodiment of the truth. That you want to know what it is and you want to learn how to break free from the 3D. And live in truth, live as the source, live in your true reality. Truly experiencing life as it is, both in our divine essence and in all of our dysfunction, all of our drama, all of our suffering, all of our pain and grief. It's all here. But we don't have to be ruled by it, and I have been in my life. Definitely been lost in dysfunction and addiction and depression. And even after decades of the spiritual journey and as I said, deeply embodied enlightenment experiences of oneness and love and peace and bliss, and knowing the truth and knowing how to get into that truth, how to experience life as the source. I know this, I am this, and yet the suffering exists. But it no longer rules me, and it doesn't have to rule you. You truly can break free from that limited reality. And yet, perhaps, you have to keep breaking free. We have to keep breaking free. We have to be unwilling to be constrained by those limitations, by the paradigm that wants to keep us limited, by those programs that take over, that we get triggered into, that we allow to run our lives, to run the show. You can be free of that. And you can learn how to alchemize them and work with what's showing up in your life from this source state. We're in the God mode. So we have these different modes of consciousness. You can choose to come into the God mode, be in that oneness, in the truth of who you are, and to live from that place. But not in denial of our suffering, of all of our humanness, but integrated into that. Bringing God down and into our wholeness, into everything that we are. And then celebrating the glory, the beauty of this life and this opportunity to be here in this human body with all of our pain and all of our suffering and all the struggle. And I know I'm always trying to get away from it. It's always still here. But we can keep integrating it. That's really the bodhisattva vow. To come be of service to all of humanity through how we're showing up moment to moment, and willing to continue to strive to be the source, to be living in that pure consciousness, awareness, bliss, freedom that really is our natural state, is our true self, is God, is the very core of our consciousness. And to work with what's showing up in our life. This is the path, this is the work, and it's ongoing. So stop trying to end it all and think there's some kind of goal where you're not going to have suffering or things or problems or anything showing up. That's part of the path. But there's a profound distinction that I'd love to help you find. And it's through these truths I've shared them. So I'm just going to talk in a little bit about the second sacred truth, which is that you're always choosing how you feel in each moment. Because I've been feeling this like sadness today, and throughout my whole life I have this like cloud of sadness. And even though I find so much joy and happiness and love and peace and freedom in life, I still, come around the corner and then here's that cloud of sadness just sitting on me. And, there's a lot to be sad about in the world, for sure, if you really want to dig into the grief of what's going on the planet and all the ways that we just treat people so terribly and the planet so terribly. There's a lot of things to be sad about, a lot of grief to be felt. And part of our work is to just feel that. Keep feeling the grief. Be willing to do it. Because it's here. But this truth, and it is true, and I see it and I practice it, I live it every day, is that we're choosing. And maybe there is this field of grief that's happening that's always ever present, and you're never going to feel it away. It's never going to go away. It's part of our human spectrum. But there's frequencies that we get very used to being in. There's thought patterns. There's these programs, part of this 3D matrix. You have your unique set, I have mine. We all have our unique set of programs we've adopted through life or given to us through our ancestry or, our life. And we can learn how to shift that frequency, shift how we're focusing our energy, our awareness, coming back into the heart, coming back into alignment with what's really true in the deepest sense within our own energy, consciousness, and experience. And every time that you do this, that sorrow, that grief, that sadness vanishes from your experience. It can no longer exist within the fullness of who you are, and yet it's still here, right? They're both here, so it's not a denial. You're not pushing that away. It's just that when you go back into the source state, when you're embodying in the fullness of what you really are, in your deepest sense, the sadness is here, but it no longer is like a thing that consumes you or causes certain thoughts and feelings and actions. It doesn't take over and dominate the frequency, the energetic of your experience in the moment, causing you to think and feel and act in certain ways. That's the program taking over. That's you being controlled by whatever frequencies of grief, sorrow, sadness, suffering that you're in. And then you realize it's just a choice. You're in your suffering, you're in source. There's just in some ways there's no one or the other. You're in your suffering or you're in source. And that's it. And when you're in source, you can feel it all. You can feel all the grief you want to focus on and find in the world or here in your body, your story, your life, all the things that have happened. But it just flows and moves through you. You can just let the grief move through you. You let the suffering be here. You just be present with it. but it doesn't rule you anymore. This is the profound choice. This is a part of how you break free from that 3D and live in your true reality. That's what I'm here to help you to really understand and grok and live in yourself, because I believe the more of us who come into this embodied state of our source awareness present, this energetic capacity to be in the heart as a source, as God embodied here in our human experience, that's how we actually raise the vibration of the human experience as a collective. That's what I'm here hoping to do with my own life and with the message I'm sharing here with you. So, how is it for you? And are you in your suffering, or are you wanting to choose how to live in as the source? So if you're with me, if you want to learn more about this, how you can become an embodied presence in the world, then I invite you to subscribe and comment. Let me know. So I'm going to keep bringing the stream of the flow. If you got any questions, any things you want to know, reach out to me. I'll make more videos to respond, and I have some other practices and teachings and insights and wisdom to share about how you can actually be an embodiment of your divine perfection. Be God here in the human form with all of it, with our dark, our light, everything integrated. And how we can really step into a more embodied and full and resonant experience as a human, as humanity, as our human experience. So, wishing you much love, many blessings.